I got to interview and antagonize my friends into finally spilling the beans on who their favorite VTubers are. Okay, jokes aside, I was curious what kind of friends I really have and what kinds of VTubers seem to be popular for whatever reasons from normal, semi-functioning people. In this video, I go over the appeal of said VTubers, both in personality, design, and more, so if you have any interest in VTubers like I do, feel free to put this one on your second monitor and hang out. Okay, would you like to introduce yourself and how you fell down into the VTuber rabbit hole in the first place?
Yeah, my name's Waf, or Waffaruookami for long. I started watching Pekora like 2 years ago. I'd watched a bunch during one summer, and then I completely stopped. I didn't watch anything. I didn't really know anything about Hololive. I didn't know any other people. I think it was Hollow Rust, maybe, or any of
Probably.
these one of the other Japanese Rust events. And then I picked it up again last January. And
Was it Niji
I can't
Sanji
remember.
Rust? Did they do
It
that?
might have been, yes. It was not Niji Rust that time. Actually, I was just about to say I don't remember why I started watching Olive. No, it is. I started watching VTubers again in last January because of Niji.
Ah,
Yeah, because I watched a clip compilation. And I was like, this is actually like really cool. I was like, had some great feels in it. It was funny. It was sad. It's just like, wow, this is.
Niji
I need more
JP
of
is,
this.
yeah, definitely the best branch of Niji.
It was overall very cool. And then I think I naturally fell into Hololive. There's a lot of overlap to stuff I watched previously. Like I'm a very, very, very big Trash Taste fan. So I knew of Mori Calliope.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, they do this, and everybody's seen Gura somewhere on the internet,
Yeah.
for better or for worse. Well, she was still with us. And then yeah, it just spiraled from there. I started watching, like, it was the only thing I watched for like a few months. It's been a hard past couple of months for us Hololive fans.
It's been rocky for sure.
It's been very rocky.
Oh my god.
Thankfully, none of my personal Daioshis have been having graduating, so I'm not, well, except for Aqua.
Yeah,
Aqua, I
R7.
suppose. That was last year. Holy crap, it's been a while.
Like her new model is very similar to her Holo model.
She
She was
basically just like graduated into Big Sister. That was it.
she was so attached to that. All right, so obviously this is a video about my friend's favorite VTubers, or more so, not exactly favorite because that's a strong word, but like, you know, person you want to present to the class, like, you know, pet of the week. Basically, like,
Yeah.
hey, this is someone I've supported, or this is someone that maybe even if I don't watch them the most, they kind of represent my taste in VTubers well, or they deserve the support. So, what is your display VTuber?
It took me a very long time to decide. I like hop between people, but the one girl I always keep coming back to is Hakos Baelz. I really love her for a lot of reasons. I think she's one of the best VTubers in all of Hololive, and I'll tell you why. And it's because she's everything you could ever want in a VTuber. She's funny, she's cute, she speaks a bunch of languages, and she has this way of bringing together Hololive. She kind of like defines what is Hololive, because she collabs a lot with Ollie, and of course Ollie's from Holo ID. She has all the Indonesians behind her. She has a lot of overlap between the Japanese VTubers and the English VTubers, because I think it's pretty well known that Holo JP, they don't really do English. They're getting better.
Hakos is probably
Maybe another
the Mrs.
year or two.
Worldwide of, or definitely
Yeah,
worldwide of that company.
One more underappreciated thing about her, I think, is that she not only brings the JP together, but she is one of the few VTubers in Hololive specifically that will actually collab with male VTubers,
Oh yeah,
which
that's
I think
good.
is something that's like sorely lacking, especially when they have talents like Roberu that has been
Peak.
getting immense traction for being a male VTuber. It is not the same in this world.
Yeah,
And he's been killing it, and I really like seeing Bales
I feel
collab
like
with her.
I feel like Niji kind of made the
Sorry.
male VTuber thing like actually like a viable strategy, and then it's nice to see that Hololive in some regards isn't shy of that, because it used to be so much like a lot of like aunties who were like, oh, I have to gatekeep my female streamers from being away from the male VTubers, and
Yeah,
it's like, oof.
that stuff used to be crazy, which I think it's one of the better parts about VTubers starting to become mainstream. It's a lot more open for collabs and open for everybody. I still think there's stuff we could work on, even Bales and Ollie, of course, because Ollie's also good in a lot of similar regards. They could do more, of course, but I think they still have on a company-wide level. They should push for it more, which always makes me happy to see when they actually do.
They're like
Do
testing the
collabs. We're
waters.
one step closer. Lot of testing the water with these girls. I'll tell you that they definitely not a 100% say so girl. I'll tell you that much. This rat.
Does she play like the antagonist role sometimes? Because I know sometimes you'll have someone who plays a good antagonist that kind of brings all the opposing forces together against one true evil. Because I know she's chaotic.
I feel like she plays the straight man a lot.
I see.
Yeah.
But her being a
double
chaos is a straight man is kind of contradictory in theory. Yeah, it's definitely possible. But I usually think of like, oh, this is a chaos harbinger. They wouldn't be a straight man because they are the source of chaos.
Exactly. No, of course she always gets made fun of for her Australian accent.
So she's Australian, and Hato lived in Australia for a while. Have they done collabs before? Because I feel like that would be a pretty obvious lineup.
I'm pretty sure they have. Yeah, I think they're very similar. Maybe I'm hallucinating this, but they definitely exude a similar kind of energy. Yeah, they have been collabing.
Okay,
For
I
a
feel
few
like the
times.
Aussie market is like perfect because they're obviously close to Japan, but they're still English speaking. And of course,
Yeah,
Filipinos are pretty good. Indonesia, those two countries are pretty decent with English representation, I find, actually.
yeah, for sure.
So those are great countries to
Um,
focus on if you want to like spread your worldwide name.
Australians are very open to that stuff. Of course, there's a lot of cross tourism and cross pollination, and
Hmm.
especially Indonesians are like everything. They're so multicultural. There's a lot of Japanese, a lot of English, a lot of Indonesian. There's a lot of dubbing, subbing. Yeah, the language part for Bales is definitely maybe her biggest benefit. I have been practicing and trying to learn Japanese for a few years now. Just on like a technical level, she's very nice to listen to. She has a way of speaking Japanese that the Japanese VTubers, they're too native. You really need
Right.
a non-native speaker because she has a way of pronouncing stuff that is really easy to hear. It
She's
might come
basically
down
an
to
anime. It's like an anime, but
yeah, no,
more mundane, more like
yeah, like
coherent
very
on a daily basis. Conversational, I should say.
exactly. Yeah, it's just like the intonation and the tone of voice and how fast like the
Right.
speed of your speech just makes it easy. So it's really funny when her Iris and Ollie are like I think Bay's the easiest to listen to. They're all very funny. They all do a
Hmm.
lot of cross English JP collabing.
That's a good reason as any to like support to Oshi your Oshi to push your push.
I'm not a big stream watcher. I
Hmm.
streams aren't really my preferred form of taking in the community. I really like watching clippers because I feel like taking it in through the lens of the clipper, letting them
Right.
interpret stuff and makes it a bit easier to consume with time zones and stuff as well. When you don't watch a lot of course, as Europeans who are always cucked, no matter what the VTuber is. It's not a lot of European VTubers that I follow, and they're
Nah.
all American or Asian. So you're fucked with time zone either way. But I have occasionally been able to tune into a Hakos stream for at least a little bit, and it's always been fun. And sometimes maybe once or twice Iris as well. Iris and Bait does a lot of collabing, which is very fun. I think they're both dear
Mm.
VTubers.
Yeah, Iris was a particular case because she was a solo debut.
These girls are like all they have left.
but she
It's
wasn't.
just Crony and Bay, and then
She's like a solid
Iris.
debut, but then she
She was solid
immediately
debut, yeah.
conformed into the other gens. It's like, well, she's really just a
Yeah.
plus one.
Yeah.
She like
She
fit in
gets a
immediately.
they debuted as Council and then they moved into Promise. And now they are Promise. And
Interesting.
this is so sad. On the fandom page, it says Bales is currently a member of Unit, Hololive English Promise, alongside Iris, Fauna, Crony, and Mume.
Two of
No,
which
she is
are
not.
fun,
Tragic.
man.
That's sad.
In regards to Europeans, VTubers is the thing is he had Reinho and Matara as European streamers. Reinho just moved to America, and Matara I think is moving, I think, to America eventually. At least that's what I think I heard, or at least she goes to America a lot. I think she also streams on American times. So it's like even if you find a European streamer, they're probably either going to move to the way to the east or way to the west. You know, they're going to Japan or America, or they themselves, their own time zones are fucked, and they're streaming on JP or EN times.
Yeah, a
times.
lot of they conform to the bunka centers, what do you call it, culture outputters of Japan, China, Indonesia, and the United States. I wish we had more representation. And so I like, of course, the new Hololive gen with Gigi and
Elizabeth.
all those girls. Get some European rep in here, and then I'm pretty sure they're all gonna move to Japan in a year anyway.
Most likely the European curse.
The European curse of
The
our
prophecy.
ancestors of having to move everywhere else.
What the fuck? I'm trying to move to Europe, not the other way around.
Yeah, no, it's fun getting to talk about someone you really like. You know, you watch a lot of clips and not a lot of places to discuss this kind of stuff. I think the big VTuber servers are a bit closed off in a way. There's not a lot of discussion.
Nah,
This was
really
nice. Thank you.
I guess you could introduce yourself and you know how you fell down the rabbit hole.
I'm Hyper, spelled as H1PUR. I've been in the VTuber rabbit hole since about 2019, just before this explosion during the COVID lockdowns.
Same.
My first exposure to VTubers was Hololive, specifically Fubuki and Kiryu. I saw some clips of them, and I was just, wow, they're funny. They're really funny. It was also actually about the time I was getting into anime. One of my friends said you should watch some. So I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is just another anime thing. Kinda. But the main problem was it was just more streamers that were pretty funny. But because I couldn't really understand their streams very well, I just watched their clips most of the time. Since this was way before EN really took off either for any big VTubers. I then actually came across kind of smaller English VTubers on Twitch. They were starting to take off, but again, wasn't really getting much traction. It's also like really confusing because a lot of the times I was like, why is there anime people on this game? It was really confusing for a while, but the more I watched them, the more I was like, yeah, this is really interesting. And I just fell in love with the whole VTuber trend and still been watching it now.
Had a pretty similar, I would say a pretty similar time frame for that stuff. Like we both got into anime like a year or two maybe before we got into VTubing, and then we both got into VTubing in like late 2019. And I feel like it accelerated a lot when in 2020, of course, when the scene itself accelerated at that time.
Oh, lockdown just making the internet like the big place.
Exactly.
So any small trends just blew to huge scales.
Of course, we were part of the same community for quite some time, which still technically are. But would you like to say what you do, like what you do for your own content creation, or what you do outside of, you know?
I personally don't do too much content creation. I occasionally stream once a year or something at this point. I used to do a lot of just general streams myself, but I just took a step back from that because I never really found much motivation to keep going. I do show up a lot more on like any of my friends' streams sometimes.
That's cool. I think there's something nice about, I guess it's kind of off topic, but there's something nice about being like a sort of a cameo type personality.
Yeah.
Instead of always being like the person who's streaming and hosting events, you're just kind of showing up in other people's streams, so there's less pressure on your end, but you can still kind of have fun with it. And yeah, you don't have to go through all the tech issues yourself.
I have done enough of it where I'm usually able to just like assist with any issues that people have had. I did do a lot more, I guess it would be a little more formal streaming, as you call it, for like also tournaments. Like I was big on them for a while, and I was staffing. Got experience like every aspect of that, and then dipped out. Just really suddenly, I was like, yeah, I'm bored with this. Dropped it.
Yeah. All right. So, in regards to the VTuber you want to display today, can you go over like their name and sort of who they are and what they do?
Yeah. They're SmokeyDoh, personal friend of mine. I actually met them through also the thing that I used to stream for, but just got quite a bit more closer than just being like, oh yeah, we're friends on this one game. We're actually just friends now. We just play general games whatever we feel like. His main category for streaming is VSRG mapping in general, but for like Quaver, Osamania. The thing is, his decision to become a VTuber was a little sudden. Like, he was quite big on VTubers himself, but just decided, you know what, I'm gonna get a model.
Right.
And he just got a model. There wasn't really much of a design or lore decision behind it. He even actually had a stream where he sat down to design his Allura with his chat. His canonical height is 43 centimeters, unless he's wearing the big boot. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that, so I don't know the reasoning or anything behind it. But it was just like, he was like, oh yeah, VTubers need lore. I'll just do a stream where we make that.
Look at, I'll do it live.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I'll just do it live. I think he uses a free model, but just to change it up a bit, he wears 3D glasses, like the old school 3D glasses, the red and blue lenses. So yeah, it's a simple design, but I think it's pretty decent. It works, and it's definitely got his kind of
identity.
Yeah, he's got an identity from it now, and like you can tell it's him. I guess like one of the big reasons I watch him is his humor. It's also a reason I'm his friend. Humor, personality, he's just funny. He just lines up with the kind of humor that I enjoy of just really random things. You just don't really know what he's gonna come up with next.
Like researching someone.
Yeah. Like I remember seeing a while ago, there's 3 categories of VTuber. There was wholesome, there was horny, and there was gremlin. And he's totally gremlin.
Okay, so you've been friends with them for like how long? Like when how long did this start? Was this like a COVID thing or
2022? I think about mid 2022. I think I met him.
So I guess for the viewers who don't know, of course, both of you guys are like pretty deep into the OC community, and that was a big community in of itself. Do you feel like most of the people still to this day is through the OC community, or do you feel like nowadays it's becoming it's more heavily geared towards the VTubing or anime or otaku communities instead?
I do feel like a good chunk are from OSO themselves. Like, despite being in the VTuber community for so long, I don't really interact with it too much myself. As much as I'd like to, I'm just like, I don't really have much of a reason. I'm happy enough just being a viewer and sticking to talking with the friends I already have.
Do you usually interact with like the chat? Are you like a chatter type or like a lurker type, a clipper type? Like what?
I'm between chatter and lurker, depending on the stream. Sometimes I'll join in on the chat. Most of the time, I might have a stream on in the background. The personal thing here is I don't really enjoy interacting with the really big chats because after a certain point, they just become kind of hive mind.
They're all saying the
same thing. Yeah. But, like, it's much easier to actually just jump into like a smaller community, just talk there, and actually feel like you're getting something back out of it. Of like, oh, I'm included here. It's not just me watching a show. It's a live stream. I can interact with this.
Imagine what SmokeyDoh, you have obviously because you're also friends, but you have like
this is just being a friend.
It's a lot easier to talk in his chat. You're probably a lot more of a talker in his chat as opposed to like a bigger VTuber.
If I were to go watch like I don't know Neurosama for example, they're pretty big on Twitch at the moment.
Right.
If I go to that chat, I don't think I'd ever get seen by anybody because that chat's moving out like 1,000 messages a second. Same with like Philly and Iron Mouse, like those huge. A personal message won't really get that far in there. But if I were to go to someone like SmokeyDoh, your chat, because it's a bit smaller on the smaller side, it just feels a lot more welcoming.
A lot
Because
more
I feel like it's
personal.
actually gonna, it's a way more personal level.
Do you feel like SmokeyDoh's community reflects him? Like, they usually say the viewers reflect the streamer. Does that reflect there?
I think, yeah, it used to definitely be like streamer reflects the audience, but some more have come from like Mania side. The OC community isn't the greatest sometimes, so you'll occasionally get like the odd person just like, why are you saying this? Like that's just, I don't understand half of those words. And then the other time is just gonna be like, yeah, this is a really nice place to just hang out.
I feel like Osu, maybe it's just my read on it. I feel like Osu players are often like elitist as well. Something
They are. They definitely are. It's just like depending on what one of the four modes
so
you decide
competitive,
to
yeah.
play the most. It's like, oh, this one's the best one. The other ones suck. I don't know how you can play that. It's not fun. It's very elitist at times.
So he does. Does he also
Like,
do collabs? Because I feel like I've seen a couple.
he has done the occasional collab, but I don't think he really reaches out actively for collabs. It's kind of more just like, oh, if someone comes to him, he's probably going to be very open for it. I don't think he actively searches for collabs because a lot of the times he's like, oh, if I want to collab with someone, I've got my friend group. I can just ask, it's like, this guy is like, you available to play this game at this time? And it's probably going to be a yeah. Like, so a lot of the time, like his Borderlands, for example, or his Saints Row 2 that he does with one of his other friends.
It's like a first come first serve basis, basically.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, or his group Roblox. It's kind of, we just have a group chat. It's like you just join in anytime you want.
I never thought I would hear group Roblox 20 years later. You know what I mean?
I know, it's crazy.
I thought that game would die by 2010 when I was playing it in like 26.
He's a little more like in touch with like the more Gen Alpha humor as well, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, of just that unhinged style.
All right, so I think, is there anything else you want to say about them yourself, our loving, budding romantic relationship together?
Oh, I wish. I don't know. They're just a great guy to watch, even if just having them on in the background. Like they're actively trying to make their streams better as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something they really make public all the time off like that much, but especially earlier on, they would just like say more like in private, like, oh yeah, I've been rewatching this VOD and I'm like, half of this is just so dead. I don't see what's interesting. He watches back his own videos to try and improve on them, but that's obviously not something he makes too public too often.
Grind set.
But yeah, he's on the grind set to make himself more entertaining. He watches himself back, as I just said.
That's very wholesome.
Yeah, no, he tries. He does his best, which is very
bless
fun.
his heart. I will say, as someone who's never played Osu or those kind of rhythm games, there's something kind of nice about the genre. It's like watching our old comrade who is multiple people different now. He's gone through metamorphosis quite a few times. I felt like it was a really good catalyst for basically just chatting with extra steps.
It is, yeah. Like the style he does with the mapping streams, where he's making the content for the game. He is pretty much forced into a position where it is a just chatting stream with extra steps.
I was gonna say it makes sense that he would go through his own VODs and try to be like good at filling dead air, because that is kind of a big deal with that, even though obviously there's music and stuff going on with the Osu and all those rhythm games in general, and even games like Roblox that aren't, there are rhythm games in Roblox, but that's not like the main focus. Definitely being able to just chat, being a yapper is like a godsend. If you're a natural yapper, or you're like very easygoing, if you can get like maybe one person on stream to bounce off of, it's so much easier to maintain viewers in a community, especially playing Osu, which is one of those things that like not everyone plays, but quite a few people watch. Obviously, I feel like it's mostly leaning towards diehard like rhythm gamers, but there's a good amount of people who like come to a streamer for a different game, and then they happen to be playing Osu this time for this stream. They're like, okay, I guess I'll hang out because it's like a just chatting stream.
I hate to categorize people here, but like at the lower levels, you have the just chatting, but then after you get to like the really high levels or like the mid level to high, it becomes people join you to watch more of the gameplay because it gets to like the part where it's like, oh, no normal person can do this. It's really high skill. So
Right.
everyone watches for like the high skill play. You don't go watch ESL just for the just chatting of the commentaries. You watch it to watch the really high gameplay.
Yeah, like the Ninja, for example. You know, a lot of his
Ninja
career
Video,
was based on how good he was at the game. Then there's the streamers like Tarek, who is obviously very good at the game, but he has a diehard community because he's just like a massive personality. He's very good at like riffing and banter and whatnot. So
Yeah, it's like you do have those personalities in also as well. It's like, well, yeah, for every like number one player we have the people that are just as charismatic. And you probably know them, but like BTMC,
yeah,
they're
I've
like
been
the
seeing him.
biggest OSU personality, and they've gone way beyond. And I think they're actually gonna into a lot of like more non-OSU content recently. But it's like they've first of all been a
They've
content
definitely
creator
been
for so long.
branching
I
out.
think I think just because they've been a content creator for so long, they know what they're doing. But now because they're reaching out, they're getting a more general audience that's focused more on them themselves than just, oh, they're really good at OSU. They're like top
He's
100 in the
been
world.
interacting with VTubers as well. So in that
Yeah, like
sense,
VTubers as well. Yeah.
he's my friend Sage, the Sage
Hello.
one, and we've been friends for about 4 or 5 years now, haven't we? Yeah, 5 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Very long time.
So yeah, when did you get into VTubing? How'd you get down this rabbit hole? Like, what's going on there?
So back in 2020, of course, COVID was going around and I was stuck inside, just chilling in Discord servers, just hopping back and forth, right? And so I had a buddy of mine who was in a mutual server and I saw that he had a Cornet PFP. And I was like, okay, who's this cute anime girl dog? I have not seen her in my years of like watching anime and playing games. And he was like, well, it's this YouTuber or AKA VTuber called Cornet. I was like, oh, what's a VTuber? And he was like, well, I can't really explain it to you, so I'm going to slide you a video. And he slid me the Kabuki Buki video, the Cornet experience video. And ever since then, I was hooked on VTubers because of not only just their personality, but how they present themselves in a virtual environment, and also bridges that gap from like just anime content creation to just overall streaming. And I enjoyed that because I was always looking for like anime centric streamers, but there wasn't enough of them around, and anime content around 2020 wasn't hitting for me. And so VTubers just filled in that gap for me.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain like what the heck a VTuber is without just like showing it. And nowadays it's
Right.
like it's just another medium. It's just like having face cam content or people who upload videos that are just text only and they don't have a face cam or anything, kind of that sort of thing. But you get to put a little bit more marketing to it. You get to have a mascot. For a long time it was just like this underground thing, and then it got really big, and then it suddenly got really toxic.
Yeah.
Like now it's kind of a mess. It's a love-hate relationship. It was very bittersweet.
I would say KSon. To me, she is what I always look for a VTuber. Ever since then, I always used to hop back and forth between VTubers, and I never really found a VTuber that personally like aligned with me and how I like to watch streamers. So every single time I used to just hop through until I stumbled upon a KSon stream. And I was like, I like her personality. I like how she's playing the game. And also, she's just super funny, especially when she's playing Yakuza. And at the time, I was also playing Yakuza. I love Yakuza. I was like, that's my
Like the
streamer.
OG. And then she got added as part of Yakuza. You know, like
Yeah, which is
like,
crazy.
actually cool. Her and Shibuya Kaho, two anime centric like creators, like actually got to be part of it. It was really cool.
Yeah, I saw it the other day when I was playing Yakuza 8. I was like, wait, is that KSon? Oh my god!
Oh no, wait a minute. Yeah, she's cool because she's a great example of a VTuber who's been both corpo and indie, who's also been IRL and anime only, like VTuber only.
Yeah, funny enough, I had somebody I knew who did not like VTubers. They thought they were like not funny or uncool until I showed them a KSon stream, and it was like, okay, maybe I was a little bit wrong. I was like, a little bit. Right, and it's like she's one of the few VTubers that manages to bring in people who were not like into VTubers that much into liking VTubers and giving them a chance because of like the way that she incorporates her model and also her just face cam streams. It's like she's able to.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one stream when she came back. She streamed as KSon soon after she got booted
Mm-hmm.
as Kyriakoko. We'll graduate or whatever happened in that situation. It's up for people to decide. One of the first streams she had was half VTuber bottom, and then human face top half, or maybe the other way around. It's like it was a hybrid human
Yeah.
VTuber thing. And that was just not really something done, at least in the mainstream, by a big VTuber. And I think that got her a lot of attention because people were like, oh, that's what she looks like, but also she's doing this really funny bit.
KSon or Kitty Coco, however you want to see her, her personality is very forward and confident and just overall, I'll just say goofy in a good way. She is very like free in terms of that, where she's not afraid to say how she thinks or how she feels. She's willing to try different things even if it doesn't work out well, and she's just open to doing mountains of stuff. Like there's so many streams where she's built Gundams on stream, she did cooking streams, she brought people over who wasn't for streaming. Like she has done a lot. Just because of that as well, her voice carries that as well. Like she feels very approachable. When I went to Anime Expo, and I got to meet her, I was kind of a little bit scared because, content creators, subconsciously we put them on a pedestal. So I was like, okay, maybe, I'm going to be a little bit nervous. Maybe she's not going to be in the mood, but we took a picture on my old phone, which I don't have right now. And I was like, that was the happiest moment ever. Yeah. I felt like I was like comfortable. I was like, wow, I have never felt this comfortable around a content creator.
Yeah, she's definitely like she definitely has a lot of like Western and Japanese mentality like mixing. I think she's probably lived. I imagine she's probably lived in America because she's like very much like she's just a very eccentric person. You don't get that a lot with a lot of. I think that's probably why she did so well in the JP branch. Because
I mean, she did say she was from Atlanta, so I think that plays a huge part.
I thought she was from like either she studied abroad or something. I was like, there's no way she wasn't in America because she's like the most American Japanese person I fucking know. Good morning, motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, wow,
her English is too good, and
it's just her mannerisms too. I was like, wow, she has to be from America somewhere, bro.
There's no way she's not one of us.
Right, that was it. She has to be one of us. What KSon means to me specifically is what it means to be a VTuber and overall just a streamer. So like a lot of people think that you have to like do all this planning, you have to essentially just make it a job, and you had to do all sorts of crazy and extravagant things. But KSon makes things seem more fun. Like she would just one day just pull up, do a Gundam stream unplanned, and she has fun doing it. She makes sure that everybody feels included. And to me, when I look at like streamers or content creators, and even myself when I do it, I always have to remind myself that it's not supposed to be a job. It is supposed to be something that you have fun doing. It's supposed to be fun, and don't be afraid to try different things. And as a VTuber, I had many points of where I wanted to quit, but then I see a KSon stream and she's just having fun, having fun as a VTuber. I was like, you know what? You keep it going for another couple of years.
I got time. Yeah, she kind of like, she doesn't really like, oh, I have to do these bullet points. I have to fulfill this quota. I have to do all, like, I have to hit all the story beats the typical VTuber does. She just kind of like, I forge my own path and don't really look back. I don't need to look back because I'm looking forward.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like what a lot of VTubers, when she was around, back in like when she was started like blow up back in like 2020, what was it, 2022 and 1, where a lot of VTubers thought like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, but then KSon popped up and she was like, you just have fun doing it, bro. If you have fun doing what you need to do and you can make it fun for everybody else, it can work out.
Yeah, I would say she's probably like I would say the perfect example of a person who pushes the potential of what a VTuber is and can be. Like you said, she tries all these other things, and I feel like I've seen a lot of VTubers since her debut as KSon. I feel like a lot of VTubers started doing IRL content too. Like you got Lena Lazar who does cooking streams quite often. I love watching those. You do Bao who does like vlogs and stuff. You got Cottontail doing the weird shit.
Onigiri.
Weird shit. Onigiri's. I love her cooking and walking stream. I like it when she just chats with fucking, like she just does these walking streams and then she talks to chat and then they get onto her for being old. It's good. It's good. It's good stuff. I don't think you have to do IRL content to push the potential of a VTuber, but I think it puts it to the next level for sure. But there's a lot of stuff you can do while still being completely 100% private, not just face mask private, but entirely private. That you can still push. Like, there's a lot of VTubers who do events and whatnot, and I think hosting events as a VTuber is probably the best way to fulfill that potential without having to do IRL content. And I think KSon's done some events herself, or she's at least been part of events, right?
Oh yeah, of course. She was I know the ones that I watched was that she was a part of like the Yakuza events. Like that was when I firstly thought like, oh my gosh, this is like a VTuber, a part of a big game. Like there in person, part of the promotion, a part of the I think she's a part of like 2 games. She was she's practically involved with like now like 70 to 60% of RGG projects. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, and like you said, like she is a VTuber that pushes the envelope of what a VTuber can do, because a lot of people back then was wondering like, how do I do IRL content and try to do more content but be stuck as a VTuber? And you know, KSon showed different ways as you could, from what I've seen, different ways that you could make content just outside of the model while still keeping your anonymity as a VTuber.
She's just unapologetically herself, and I know there's a lot of VTubers who are a lot unapologetically themselves, but KSon's like such a, like I said, eccentric person that it's like it's hard not to watch. Like she's like the sun. She's like the sun. It's like hard not to look her way, not just because she's loud and because she does all this flashy stuff, but also because she's just like a real like her personality is just fucking nuts. Her humor is funny, her humor I would say a lot of people can enjoy because it's not like super niche or anything. It's not like stupid specific with only in jokes. There's like in jokes of course, but it's not like only VTuber. Like I feel like she's definitely one of the people I would say is a great gateway VTuber.
Yeah, of course
100%, which is nice because I think obviously every hobby needs gateways. But it's nice that she's like confidently herself, and it makes me confident in recommending people like, hey, check out KSon if you want to get into VTubers, because there's still that mix of IRL if they're like afraid of the whole concept. Still got the IRL thing going on. Her community is pretty funny too.
As a person who's very active in her community, I would say they're very like, how do I put it? Like they're also kind of similar to KSon. Like they're super free.
It's a hive mind.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hive mind. Like they're super free and they're very open. So like say for example, you don't know VTubers and you have this misconception about VTubers. They will come in, they will educate you. They're not gonna like shun you for not knowing. They're willing to just talk to you. And even if you having like something rough going on, they're very like, there for you. They're very welcoming and it feels like a home. And of course, like you said earlier, they do have a lot of inside jokes. They have a lot of inside jokes, and they're pop off. They are some characters for sure. There are some characters, and a lot of them are funny.
Community is more in jokey than KSon is, because the community is just like absolutely fucking. They're an absolute.
Oh yeah, they're very.
They're like balls of energy, bro.
Yeah, like when you join, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of energy in here, bro.
It's a GTA
They're just
server.
happy all the time.
I guess we could talk about the design. I want to talk about the design of Kiryu Coco first, and then talk about the design of KSon and how they juxtapose, because they're very different color schemes or different designs in general, but they're still Yakuza at the end of the day to some degree. Right. Like Kiryu's design is very Kiryu Coco's design is very orange and bright, and it's a dragon and all that stuff, which also really fits KSon's personality. But then KSon's VTuber model also fits her really well too. So it's interesting how they're very, 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 very different designs, but they're like, that's her. You know what I mean? That's her.
I feel like when it came down to the first design, which is Kiryu Coco's design is I would say a more exaggerated version of who KSon is, and also her interests, because a lot of her color schemes and a lot of just the overall design choices come from Yakuza. Most specifically Kiryu Kazuma, whose dragon tattoo is very not one-to-one similar, but like it's close enough to where you say, oh well, it's kind of similar to Kiryu Kazuma's tattoo. Yeah. And like the color scheme, which is orange, is also similar to red. And, just the overall design choices is still trying to keep in line the dragon aesthetic, but make it to where you can kind of push it towards the Yakuza design choices. And then her second design is more of a core of who she is, and as well as her interests. Right. Exactly. The Yakuza jacket. Well, not really Yakuza jacket, but delinquent jacket. Yeah. The bike. The I think that's a sword. I don't know for sure. Maybe it's a sword.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a sword, and just the color schemes of the outfit as well. It's just very, her. Now the hair color, that's just how KSon is. The glasses, that's just how KSon is. And the piercing. Though. Yeah, it's just her. I think the craziest thing about the designs is that even though they're super different, they have a reoccurring theme, which is that's KSon's personality through the model. Like when you see people rebrand models or change models, you always have the community that say, I don't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right, kind of thing. And maybe it'll feel right later on. It takes a while, but in the moment, it's like it doesn't hit the same way. With her thing, you saw her as Kiryu Coco, and then you saw her as KSon, and you're like, oh, it still makes sense. Even though they're very different, you're just like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I see it. That's a good rebrand.
Yeah, I've seen my fair share of people who rebrand and then they, change their models, and then people say, I don't like it. It doesn't fit you. I think you need to go back.
It's kind of judging a book by its cover, but at the same time, it does change how you, it changes how you view somebody quite a bit, especially if you're very personality forward streamer and less content forward. Because I think people are a little bit more forgiving if your content itself is very like niche or very, it fills up a niche, or it's very like creative, like event. I think if an event tuber changed their model and it didn't click, it's not gonna matter quite as much because they're like, well, I'm just here to watch the events. I want to see what kind of people he gets together. And then when you got like someone who's very personality heavy, it's like, it's kind of like having a fucking like a really powerful engine. You swap it from a Ferrari and then you put it in like a Lamborghini. It's like, well, they're still sports cars, but maybe this Lambo wasn't exactly what you pictured, so you're not gonna buy the damn thing just because you really like the engine or whatever going on inside it.
And that's that's the hardest part with like getting a new model and updating it or changing it, is that you're trying to still make it different enough for yourself, especially if you're rebranding, but also trying to keep things the same. And I think a lot of VTubers struggle with that, especially when it comes down to like rebranding, changing models, updating models. It's kind of hard to figure that out. And KSon somehow, in some way, managed to do that and still does that to this day.
Yeah, I think she's a good role model too, I would say. Good role model. Because she's just herself unapologetically. And I think a lot of people who have like insecurities, I think she's like a really good anchor to kind of be like, okay, you know what? I got anxiety. I don't know if I want to do this VTubing thing. And you watch her and you're just like, she doesn't give a fuck. Those thoughts aren't going through her head. She's just like, man, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and stream me cutting like, going fishing or something like. Cool. Right. Like that's what she's saying though, and I think that kind of inspires people. I feel like there's a lot of people who have been inspired by her, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, I have, and it has been shown in my recent content where I kind of I use her as like a little blueprint on how I should go about and present my videos. And even now, outside of me, a lot of people who don't know how to do content, especially as a VTuber, I would say look at KSon. KSon is a prime example on how to do it. You don't need a quote unquote streamer or YouTuber personality. You should make your content around your personality. It should not be the opposite where you make your personality like for the content. Go check out the channel, BeanoSage. I do be posting shorts daily. And I've been trying to do weekly. If you sub, more come out. You like, more come out. And also, make sure you sub to the wonderful interviewer.
I know the sample size is too small for any actual science, but I hope this video was helpful in some way, shape, or form. If you want to see the full versions of each interview, maybe someday I'll launch a Patreon with exclusive full interviews. I tried to get 5 people on this video, but it was a lot of effort to find the right people, and this video was already long enough. However, in the future, I can always make a follow-up video. In the meantime, I have a bunch of other ideas, so stay tuned.